This video is not going to be edited. I mean, it might have some background music, obviously, but TLDR, this is pretty important. I'm pretty whatever. I think everybody's in like this, you know what I mean? Like everyone's high right now. We're super. Some people are aggro, some people are fed up, some people are disappointed, some people are excited. There's a lot going on right now when it comes to Honkai Star Rail, but I want to try and approach this video or pair of videos in a EO but not EO manner. I think maybe like the word is calm EO. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate my thoughts and opinions. This video that you're watching right now is going to be my I always get these words confused sometimes, objective or subjective, but basically I'm going to tell you why the live stream was good from a player perspective, potentially a creator perspective. And then I'm going to tell you my opinions about some of the stuff in the live stream regarding all of that and why this may be a problem in the future, a problem now, or whatever the case may be. And then the other video is going to be me. Why is there still something on my glasses, bro? What the The other video is going to be me explaining to you guys my full thoughts and opinions about the whole caster situation. I have not uploaded on this channel for a little bit. Most of you guys know that because you're in my Discord or you come through on my streams or you're on the Zenless channel, right? A whole different channel that I've been pumping out content. I think we've got almost 25 to 30 videos in the last month over on that channel since I've completely shifted focus. No, that does not mean that I gave up on this channel. I just, like I said, shifted my focus into something that I was enjoying more. And to state this preface, there we go, to preface what I'm going over now, just so people are aware, I haven't properly logged into Star Rail or played Star Rail in the last, I don't know, couple of patches. When did Herta come out? When Herta came out, I logged on, I built the character, I played it, had fun, and then I haven't really logged on since, right? I got Tribby because of a sponsor. I logged in again because of a sponsor, and then after that, I've been just, you know, doing my own stuff. I don't play it. I haven't finished out 3.0 story. You guys know it took me a long time to do 2.7 story because I just was not interested in it. My issues with the game are not the same issues that are being pushed out right now. I want to make that very clear, and I'm going to save that whole conversation is going to be in the other video because I don't want to detract from the potentially good that could be happening with the game. Now, we can go into it, talk about it, whatever the case may be. I do have some notes here with all the little timestamps and whatnot that I'm looking at just so I can kind of see what's going on and then keep up with it. I also have, which you guys can see now, boom, I also have this over here, which is pretty much the special program over on Hoyo Labs. I zoomed in so that you guys could see it. You don't have the codes, they're right here on the website as well. I've already watched the live stream, and just to be clear, I made a tweet about this on me Twitter, basically saying, I mean, it's my Twitter, right? I get flagged for everything. Anyway, I made a tweet, and I basically said, from what I read, because I hadn't watched the live stream yet, that the live stream was pretty good, bar the obviously negative global passive with Castris. After watching the live stream all the way through from start to finish, no interrupts, I took notes along the way. I think I'm more positive that this is a better live stream overall. However, I'm now aware of why there are so many indifferences between the community, why some players or creators or viewers, whatever, are fed up, they're mad, they're done with the game, which, you know, kudos to them. And then why some people are pretty excited about it. So enough stalling. We're going to run through this now. My bad. I don't know how I did that for like 3-4 minutes, whatever the case may be. I'm going to try and match my notes. So if I scroll up and down on this page, it is what it is. The first thing that I do have on my notes here is the game story looks pretty engaging based on the opening trailers. If we were to see, if we're coming over for this right here, I'm not going to full screen it just so I can kind of like point out what I'm talking about real quick. All of this was pretty engaging, right? The entire story that they had going on right here, I was watching it on my TV in 4K, looks very prettiful. Wow, beautiful, vibrant, all that kind of stuff. This is essentially what I was asking for. I would have cared more about the story during 2 point whatever if the story, the cutscenes, whatever, were more engaging. Now, I know a lot of you guys played throughout like Fei Xiao's story, for instance, and Fei Xiao's story was cool. It was interesting. I liked it. It gave me some real Sasuke Itachi type vibes, but my problem was that they didn't show it and they told it to me, and it left too much to my imagination that I'm like, man, that would have been cool if I could see a fight like that. Right now with the trailer for Castris and just a Morpheus overall, 3.0 story does look really good. I'm super into Greek mythology. I've told you guys that before. So I am into the story. I just don't want to play the game to get through the story, if that makes sense. And I do believe that maybe these trailers being put into the game or the gameplay itself, maybe that'll change my mind. Who knows? Skipping through that, we actually go to, and hopefully it's down here, Pollux. Pollux is an interesting one here, okay? I like the enemy design. I'll put some gameplay on for you guys because I have the timestamp somewhere around here. like 13-ish minutes, give or take, or like 12, whatever the case may be, right? Pollux is a new boss. Now, why do I like Pollux? I like Pollux because he's basically going to be a strong boss design. I like this design. I like the character of the boss, or whatever the case may be. It's cool. I've been asking for this for a little bit now, right? Make more unique bosses, put them in the game, have them doing crazy cool stuff. And the fact that he has essentially defense shred, like a raw form of defense shred, he ignores shields and excuse me, he ignores shields and whatever buffs you might have for defense, whatever the case may be, to do his damage. That's awesome. I think that's a good thing. However, two issues with this. One, obviously, and I can't really complain about this. Every gacha game does it. They cater something to the new character coming out, right? This is clearly catered towards casters. It is what it is. I'm not really going to harp on that because, like I said, every gacha game does that. It's pointless to harp on it. But I will go on, now that that trailer part is done, I will go on to say, do they even explain? I don't even think they explain it here or not. Actually, is my thingy bugged out? I thought it was bugged out, but it's not. So I guess I have to depend on my notes because they're not telling me everything here. Crazy abilities, right? We talked about that, the defense ignore, something like that, whatever. This is stuff they should have introduced in the middle of 1.x. I really feel confident that had they done that, we'd be more prepared for it, or players overall be more prepared for it. But going from that, my issue is exactly what I said. Players are not more prepared for enemies like this. We had the banana tropes that was creating a problem for people. We had Flame Reaver. Have you guys gotten that yet? I'm pretty sure you guys have gotten that yet. I'm only basing this off a CE server. Flame Reaver. People weren't prepared for that. We had the thing before that, which was the Greek dudes, whatever. I don't remember the name of the guy, but you guys know what I'm talking about with the lance and the sabers and whatever else. People weren't prepared for that. And it's simply just playing towards the enemy's mechanics, right? The enemy has certain mechanics. They want you to play by those rules, and then you have to make or break that. And if you're able to break it, breaking it in this case being that you found a different, unique way in order to fight that boss, it works in your favor. But you have to have the team or the tools to be able to do that. An example of this would be something like running wind set on everybody, or wind set plus a particular light cone, or wind set plus a planar ornament with this set of speed, and like all the stuff you would do outside of battle, right? That translates into battle, and it means that you have a higher understanding or knowledge of whatever the game's mechanics are and what's available to us right now. But not everybody has that, once again. And so when I talk about how expensive team building is in this game overall, the characters, pulling them, whatever, we don't have any new 4-stars, right? Moza is going on, what is it, 7 months now? No new 4-star character. I don't even think Genshin has done that. No new 4-star character is crazy in 7 months. But there's some stuff that we'll talk about later on that I kind of feel like maybe they understand that and they're going towards we don't really care about the 4-stars. And this could be similar to, I'm going to mention Brown Dust 2 quite a bit in this game, or in this video. Brown Dust 2 has some similar stuff where they talk about this or they go over this. Brown Dust has mostly all of the teams are built around limited characters, or I won't say limited, but like your high rank, right? Your 5-star characters. Most of the teams around that are built in that, but they give you plenty of resources to be able to get them and something in game. It looks like Star Rail is trying to do the same thing, but again, we'll talk about that in a bit. Going back to what I was saying, the limited resources or limited team structure, the expensive team structure, and all that kind of stuff is problematic for players simply because of the fact or the state of the game right now. And so while Pollux is a great enemy design, right? Great boss to introduce into the game, we are going through, I've told y'all this before, Star Rail is a meta-driven game. If you don't agree or you have an issue with that, maybe that game is not for you. We've seen time and time again, free-to-plays are currently struggling. If you don't play towards the meta or have any idea of the meta, it's going to be really hard for you to play this game, especially going towards endgame. There's something else that I'm going to mention in this video, but I want to talk about it now, or like mention it now. Star Rail is 50% in-game. Half of the game is the story, the events, whatever, right? Like stuff that's not considered in-game. The other half of the game is literally in-game. Like, there's nothing else to do. There's no new mode. There's no new events. There's no old events. There's nothing to do with your friends. There's no open world. This isn't like Genshin or Wuthering or even Zenless for that matter that has a literal arcade in the game. All you can do is play the game. Like Star Rail is straight up just turn-based. That's all you have. So you have to be able to make means with that. Not pulling meta and then also having to struggle it's a choice. I'm not going to hold you, bro. And it's not even to say like you lose a 50-50 and you get cucked, right? Like that happens. It happens to me all the time. I get it. That's not the conversation that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the players that actively avoid meta. They purposely choose to not do anything with meta in order to, waifu over laifu, whatever the case may be. They don't spend money, all that kind of stuff. Finishing this whole Pollux statement here, Pollux, this is going to present a problem for players. And this is like the objective or whatever, objective or subjective, whatever the term that I'm thinking of is. This is the part where I'm talking about that now. This is going to be a problem for players. It's good for the game only if these other conditions were already fulfilled, which they're not. Them giving us more access to 5 stars or to be able to pull better, whatever, is good. But now we're kind of playing an issue with, like, I guess, like Gallagher, right? People are going to say Gallagher is like your free to play healer, which is fine. If you have Bailu works in this scenario too, especially because she has a natural revive in her base kit at E0. She just has a revive for free. It's one of those things where, like, you have the resources or the tools to fight something like this in the game. Is this something that's common amongst all the players, right? I know it might be a really weird way of explaining that, and I don't really know how to explain it without just straight up telling you that the RPG itself, like the game, and I've been saying this for months, guys. I just haven't said it on the video format over here. The game mechanic overall is poor. Star Rail is a poor RPG. It's bad. It's not a good RPG. The basic mechanics that should be in the game are not in the game. And it hurts the game, it hurts the players when they continue to make these intricate or in-depth mechanics for enemies or characters, but the game itself does not have base turn-based or turn-based RPG mechanics, right? At its core, it does not have these mechanics fulfilled. Even Earthbound, a game from 1998 or 96, whenever it was, has these basic RPG mechanics placed into the game. Star Rail, for whatever reason, is one of the few, me personally, it's the only turn-based RPG that I've played that does not have these base mechanics. I know other ones exist, but I have not played them. Moving past that, we can talk about the game design, right? So the game devs came onto the stream around about 13 minutes or so, and they were talking about this character, Castris, amazing character. I love this character. Or I don't want to say I love this character. I like this character. I like the design. Well, I love the design. I know I'm bouncing back and forth between the L words, but I like the design. I love the design, whatever. She's cool. There's a couple things that I want to point out regarding Castris, though. Because obviously there's the big one. I will gloss over the global passive just for a moment, and then we're going to come back to it, okay? I like that this character has this Yu-Gi-Oh! Field spell type stuff, and there's something that they mentioned inside of the stream where it's like only one zone can be active at a time. This leads me to believe that this is going to be a recurring thing. We're going to get another character or a gear or whatever that will give us more zones. It might not be Caster's Dragon, but it might be something else, right? A meteor, or it literally, again, Yu-Gi-Oh, right? It makes it so that the enemy is forced up by 50%. That would help DOT. This mechanic alone being implemented into the game, if the HSR developers were smart regarding the game design and how to improve the game, how to fix it, basically, at its core. Adding in zones or something like that would be very beneficial, because now it adds another layer. It gives players more options or more choices, and then it helps teams that are probably suffering, again, DOT, or it could help teams that are improving or needing to be improved, whatever the case may be, right? It could even help you build up characters or combine characters into different teams that you couldn't do before. You don't code stuff like this into the game for no reason, right? Because if we think about it, which we don't have to think too hard, you can't have 2 Castris on one team. There's no way we can do it in co-op. You can't do it from borrowing a friend when you're farming for materials, and you can't do it in MOC on your own account. Literally, if you pull 2 Castris, he just gets evolved, right? Like, it goes in there, it is what it is. I like that Netherwing and Cassie seemingly need to work together, and they have their own form of, like, meter management. They have direct damage or true damage and chip damage. All of these things play a big part in how she's going to be piloted. That's something that I've been asking for a really long time when it comes to characters. So I like that part. Now we get to the big thing. They just kind of gloss over the global passive, which now we can officially talk about it. You own Castris, you get a free revive forever, essentially. Everybody in anything is going to get a free revive. On top of whatever revives she would naturally give. Or other characters like Mighty or Bailu would naturally give. I think the global passive itself, if we can just talk about it for a brief moment, this isn't the end of the world. And it's specifically hers. Her global passive isn't the end all be all. It's not as bad, or actually it's not bad at all, to be fair. We already have self revives in the game, or auto revives in the game. So I can't really be upset about the passive itself. However, something that I've mentioned on stream, something that I've talked about with some of the friends and whatnot, or he just left in comments. It's the implementation of the passive itself. The passive itself is kind of a problem because of what it could lead to in the future. That doesn't mean that it's a problem right now, but it opens a door that I don't think the developers are ready to fully open, and I know the players are not ready to walk through. It's one of those things where it could be nice now, it could be irrelevant now, right? Because it's bad but irrelevant. That's how I often refer to the passive here is that it's a bad passive, or my bad, it's a bad decision, but it's an irrelevant passive. This passive opening this door could turn the entire game upside down if they choose to go down that road. It's one of the things where, funnily enough, in my tweet, people were laughing at it. I stole that quote, by the way, guys. I don't remember where I heard it from, but it was another YouTube video. I was watching some Zenless content. Either quit or submit, and I think it's a pretty accurate quote, right? It's something that I've said about Genshin. It's something that I've said about Zenless early on. It's something that I'm saying now about Star Rail. If you're not happy with the game, if you don't want to play the game, if the global passive is too much for you, just quit the game. It's okay. It's totally okay to do that, right? I get sunken cost fallacy. I'm right there with you. I spent thousands of dollars on Tower of Fantasy and then eventually just stopped. I couldn't do it. I haven't logged on since. I don't even have the game installed, right? They've gone through so many updates. They've tried to get me back. They've asked for sponsors. I just haven't done it because I was like, it's enough. I can't do it, right? It was going in a direction where I was not satisfied. I was not pleased. And me giving them more money would not have done anything, right? Me promoting them to get more money would not have done anything, so I couldn't do it. In Star Rail's case, again, my issue, stating this one more time, my issue with the game is not everybody else's issue. I know everybody else cares about the global passive. It's the worst thing in the world. Oh my God, it's ruining the game. The game has already been in a bad state before the global passive. If the game continued and we did not have Cassie's global passive, I promise you I would still feel the same way that I do about the game. It's not her passive that makes me feel indifferent towards the game. It's not her. It's not the developers and like their decision to be greedy. That's a part of it, but it's not solely that makes me feel indifferent about the game. My issue with the game is quite literally the game. I'm not satisfied with the game. And I've tried to make that very clear. Some people have misconstrued what I've said to turn it into like, oh, well, then he's okay with the global passive. He supports it. Not what I said. I simply don't give 4 fucks about the global passive the way everyone else does, because I'm not using the passive as a bridge burner or a burning ticket or like a get out of jail. I don't really have a good analogy for that. I'm not using this passive as a means to bitch about the game. I'm just going to bitch about the game because I'm not satisfied or happy with the current state of the game, passive or no passive. I'll talk about that in the other video. fully. I'll talk about that fully in the other video. If we move past that, we come back over here, we talk about Anoxa. Anoxa's broken. This is the character everybody should be worried about. It's him. It's him. It's just, dude, man, this character's crazy. This nigga's stupid. I need to clarify what I just said. This nigga is stupid. Y'all don't hear me say that word on the channel, but I do say the word obviously because I'm black. But anyway, he's dumb. All elemental weaknesses implanted whenever he wants or, at random. Having a certain amount, which I'm assuming is more than 4 or 3 probably, is going to let him attack twice for free. Then his ultimate slaps everyone on the field with all elements. It's basically taking Silverwolf, amping her up, and fusing her with 3 other classes, or I guess 2 other classes, turning her into a 3-class character, and that's Anoxa. This has to be one of the most fucked up, self-sufficient ultimates I've ever seen in the game. People are worried about Castris and the global passive. Again, what did I say earlier? It's not the passive I care about, it's the game. This is the type of stuff I'm talking about. When you give players this level of power, this much power, potentially, of course, right? No one knows this until we get CE server and we kind of figure stuff out. When you give players this much power to put inside of their game, PvE or PvP, doesn't matter. You then are forced to change the attributes of your game. Stats, HP inflation, power creep, whatever. You can name anything. I don't really care what it is. Point being is that something has to change to make up for you giving the players this much power. It's one thing if a boss has this much power and we have 4 characters versus their 1, and now we have to play around that, right? It's another thing when you give us this one character who can essentially solo DPS whatever he wants in the game, and then he can help your other DPS do whatever they want in the game. There's a lot that happens with putting a character like this into the game. They didn't mention how many turns his ultimate is going to last. I'm assuming it's going to last more than 1. There's something they mentioned about the crystallized state as well, which I didn't fully catch it, right, when they were talking about it, but somewhere through here with Anoxa, let's see if we can find it really quick, maybe. Dude, they spent so much time talking about these backgrounds of the characters, which I'm not like complaining about, but I also would have liked to see that in the story. To be fair, though, it did get me interested in the characters enough, right? But somewhere in here, he does something with this right here, right? This whole crystallized state, they're talking about this and how it could help with the teammates or whatever, but they don't actually talk about what it does. I get it, they're leaving stuff up to mystery. It's kind of what they've been doing. It's whatever. I stopped caring at this point because I'm just gonna go find the answer on my own. If I really want to know about it, I'm gonna go find it. After that, we have reruns, right? So we go through Castris. This is around like maybe the 30 something mark, 33, something like that. We go over reruns. Castris, Fugue, Jiao Show, and Acheron are gonna be the first. I told y'all, you know, and y'all, I know y'all don't like hearing when I say it in particular, but I fucking told y'all, dude. I said this was not gonna be a good idea. So many people, so many players, creators are like, this is amazing. This is going to benefit everybody because now you have more opportunity to pull the characters. Then it was me, it was Smack, and there was one other person whose tweet blew up on Twitter that I saw talked about this. And obviously there could be more. I'm just going off what I remember. And we were saying how this isn't good. This isn't good because it's Hoyo. Like because of Star Rail's trajectory, how they've been, this isn't going to be a good thing. And so when we first got it, which was what Herda or before Herda, whatever it was, something like that, they had 3 on there, and they gave you a bunch of characters that like you want. Everybody should be pulling for these characters, right? But you couldn't get all of them because there wasn't enough rewards. Now we're here again. They're giving you Castris, which is the new, you know, busted DPS, blah blah blah. Which, to be fair, Castris is not the new busted DPS that people are going to hype her up to be. I'm telling you guys that right now. There's even some of the quote unquote dream, right? The dreamscapes. They're talking about how Acheron is better than Castris because of the damage output and the team constructure and the ability to play her and then invest into her over time, getting up to E6 and having one of the strongest DPS in the game forever, right? So you still have stuff like that, but now you have Castris, new baby girl. You have Acheron, big sister, right? Older big sister. You have Fugue, who's going to help you for your super break if you weren't doing that. And Fugue still helps with a couple other things, but primarily super break. And then the worst of it, you have Jiao Show and Acheron being put 2 and 2 together. This is 100% them trying to grab as much money as possible. I know it's an anniversary. I totally get that. But this is 100% trying to grab as much money as possible from this pair. You can't get everything. I didn't even mention the light cones, by the way, guys. You can't get everything, right? Spinning on this banner is going to help you, especially with the spinning event that we know is coming around the corner. It is greedy. It's very greedy of them to do this, but I can't even say this is uncommon. This is an anniversary. Again, I was going to mention Brown Dust 2 a couple of times. Brown Dust 2, during anniversary, they were on like 4 or 5 different banners. And then they cycled them out through the whole anniversary, right? That whole patch. They're cycling crap out to make sure that you can get whatever it is you want. However, make this very, Nikkei 2, let me make this very clear. They give you a fuck ton. Normally I don't say fuck, I say fork, but they give you a fuck ton of resources, limited premium currency, whatever, in order to make sure that you can pull something or guarantee 1 or 2 of those things. Star Rail, we are getting 30 premium tickets, limited tickets during anniversary when we have everything imaginable to be pulling on the banner. Me personally, I don't think they could care less about the player. Even though team building is pretty rough, I don't think they could care less, bro. This is what they're doing. And I've talked to you guys so many times about pulling the meta, understanding how to like properly build into your account, making sure that you don't get, you know, effed over and things like that. This is the type of stuff that makes it very difficult. They could have easily taken one of these characters. Let's say that they did Castris, Fugue, and Acheron, right? They could have easily taken Jiao Show and just shoved him off into this banner. And so now you have 3, right? That's still better than 4, Anoxa, Ratio, and then Jiao Show. At the bare minimum, giving you potentially enough time to save up something else, right? Anything, really, I don't know. But to have them all stacked on a 3-week cycle within one banner is crazy. They're only going to give you these banners when it's advantageous to their pockets. I said this on Twitter as well. This is them trying to make up for the bad sales, quote unquote, they've had in the last few months. This anniversary is going to, and especially because Castris is here, I know it, I get it. People are like, oh, I'm quitting the game, I'm quitting the game. Most of you guys that were quitting the game, bar creators, are just straight up free to play. I've said this time and time again, and I know it sucks to hear, but based off business, you matter so little in comparison to the person spending $3,000 per patch. What do I mean by that? If you're quitting this game and you don't spend money, and when I say money, I mean like you not blowing hundreds, if not thousands of dollars per banner, you don't matter to them as a player. Your statistic does not matter to them, right? You know who does matter? You guys know that story about the one guy who I think his best friend passed away, and so he would pull, what was it, 100 light cones per patch or per character. He would E6 the character and then pull 100 light cones just in honor of his friend. Yeah, well, that guy was supposed to stop around Acheron, right? That's when he said he was going to stop. To my understanding, based off what I've been told, he has not stopped. He's still going. He's still pulling 100 light cones per banner. That is the motherfucker you need to get to quit the game. When he stops spending on the game, they'll take a notice. They'll oh shit, wait a minute. What happened to our $15,000 per banner from this Hoyo ID number 11176543? Oh, he quit. What do you mean he quit? He quit. He moved on. He's spending 50K on this other game now. Find him. Get him back on the game. Why did he quit? That's what they're looking for. So it's tough. It's definitely tough. But after that, they showed off a couple different things, which we're getting to the end of this video here, so I can kind of speed run some of this stuff here. Around 34 minutes, they show off the mini game. Let me see if I can actually see that here, which is pretty cool. Maybe I can't. Oh, there we go. There we go. Seal slammers, right? This mixture of like I'm not gonna lie, this is a pretty cool mini game, but they need more of this. Okay, this like rubber duck Pokemon pool attack mode thing or whatever is pretty cool. I like this. The reason I say they need more of this, and this is pretty lighthearted, is like I said earlier, the game is 50% in game and then 50%, you know, everything else. They need more things to keep player retention, to keep player satisfaction, and to just have a nice time. The other games have it, right? You can compare this with any other gacha game where they have something else to do outside of just playing in game and then playing the story. Star Rail is kind of the only one in that position that does that. Mini games or whatever, they usually suck, but this one in particular caught my eye. Maybe some of the other ones caught your eye, right? It's subjective at the end of the day on what I like versus what you like. All I'm saying is they need more of this. I also saw that this was going to be multiplayer. That's going to be pretty cool too. Around 37 minutes, we get the quality of life change, which it looks like they didn't mention that here. So I'm just going to read off my notes. We pretty much got a relic management system change, which is going to be the smart discard and then the auto salvage, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, both of those. Auto salvage is basically going to be whenever you're going to farm for things, you can automatically get rid of the 4 stars or the purples and then keep the golds. And then smart discard is automatically going to be able to discard whatever it is that you have. What is still going on with my... I keep getting notifications and I have no idea why. But anyway, smart discard is basically going to be able to do the same thing as auto salvage essentially, except it's not going to auto salvage them. It'll auto discard them based off whatever metrics you set. I think this is nice. It's a nice quality of life change. It's cool. This could have easily been relic loadouts, but you know, it is what it is, right? They refuse to do it. Why? I still don't know. It's just a thing. And I'm pretty sure it's so that they force you to be on the game. I really don't know why they don't do it, but whatever. We just scrolled past them, which was the like free 10 pull or something like that was up here or whatever, free 30 pulls plus the 10 fuel. Yeah, this thing right here, right? You're going to get 30 pulls. We already talked about this. I really can't complain about it, especially if you're free to play. It's like free. You're going to get it. Again, other games, especially on an anniversary of all things, are definitely giving you enough to hit pity. Round Dust 2 literally gave me this previous anniversary. Round Dust 2 dumped at least 150 tickets in my account over the course of playing the game, the events, randomly giving it to you, not including, by the way, the random like, hey man, we love that you guys are supporting our game. We hit this many followers on Twitter. Here's a free 10 pull. Oh my God, bro. We hit this many users downloading our game during anniversary. That's crazy. Here's a free 30 pull, right? Like ignoring all of that, I still got 150 something tickets. Nikkei did the same thing. When Nikkei's anniversary rolled around, we got like 80 gold tickets just alone. We got the event that gave you another like 20 or 30 tickets. We got another event inside of the anniversary, gave you another 20 to 30 tickets. We got a new recycle. They gave us new tickets from the mail. Star Rail, Genshin Impact, Zenless, whatever, right? The Hoyo just does not do it. And they're super stingy about it. I get it. That sucks. That sucks. But again, you either quit or you submit. There's very little you can do in this regard because collectively, and I'll talk about this more in the cashers thing, but I'll bring it up here. Collectively, the only way that this would be solved is if everyone, or the whales in particular, just stop playing the game. You have to stop. You have to uninstall. You have to stop promoting it, whatever the case may be. And unfortunately, we've seen this with Genshin. They're not going to do that. Now, there's a clear reason for Genshin that I have. Excuse me. There's a clear reason for Genshin. There's not a clear reason for Star Rail. Star Rail does not have the same attachment level that Genshin has. You could blame it on COVID. You could not blame it on COVID. We still see the same stuff to this day. New players are joining Genshin Impact every day and they're falling in love with the game. The characters pulling, whatever the case may be, free to play or not. Genshin itself, despite us having our own gripes or issues or whatever with the game, people that like Genshin. It creates a very casual, I enjoy wasting my time playing the game with my friends or doing whatever. And that's all they're there for. They could care less about whether or not they're receiving something else that somebody else is getting because it has nothing to do with their game. It's a little out of order here, but we can talk about this for a bit too. The free limited 5-star character to exchange, right? This is good. I don't know why anybody is saying this is bad. I get it. Like, you might not like Luocha, so you don't have to pick Luocha. That's fine. Not everybody has a Mei. And if you do have a Mei, E1 Mei is good enough, or great enough rather, to keep her on par with things. I did get a comment or a tweet the other day basically saying like Mei wasn't top tier anymore, or that she wasn't a top harmony unit. You are fucking stupid. I really want you to understand that you're dumb. Mei is still one of the most solid harmony units we have in the game, especially if you're free to play. Just because Robin exists in the game, just because Sunday exists in the game, doesn't make Mei obsolete. That's foolish, right? That's foolish to think about in that way. Especially, mind you, you can get an E1 Mei, which just makes her even stronger. However, that's not what I want to pay attention to. What I want to pay attention to is the golden ball ticket thing itself, the golden companion, whatever it's called. I'm going to call it gold balls. All right. Shout outs to JoJo's. Anyway, the golden ball is the most important thing possible. You get one for free. You then have the option to pick up Mei or Luocha or not. And if you don't, it's going to cycle out and it's going to find something else. Why do I say that? They didn't say that in the live stream. You can't prove that, whatever. There's no reason that you would implement something like this into the game the way that they've done if it was only supposed to last for this patch. Number one, they've already said that the golden ball is permanent, only the event. We can see it like right here. I don't know if you guys can see it, so I'm going to read it out for you. Why did it do that? The event runs from after version 3.2, the update, until the end of version 3.4. The shop's 5-star characters, limited characters, Rame and Luocha, are as well as any standard banner characters, something. Oh, please see the official announcements for the details. During the event period, reach Trailblaze level 4, and this is just how you get the golden ball, whatever. Getting the golden ball is the event. The golden ball itself is not the event. Then you also have the spinning event. The spinning event gives you another golden ball. That'll be 2 golden balls. They're giving out another golden ball for the whatever free crap they're doing, something like that. I don't know. So I think we get 3 golden balls in total. I could be wrong on that. But the key thing here is, and this is specifically for the whales, this shit does not matter for free to play. If you happen to be in that situation, like, kudos. If not, it is what it is, right? E6 character, basically get an E7, you get a silver ball. You combine the silver balls, 2 silver balls makes 1 golden ball, and then you get a golden ball so you can use it on whatever you want that's in the shop. You don't make things like this if you don't intend to be used, or you don't intend for them to be used in the future. Same thing I mentioned with the field spell earlier, right? Having something like this in the game is a positive overall for the player. However, let's refer back to, and this is honestly probably around the time that I was just fed up. There's 2 items in the game that are invaluable to a player. It is the variable dice and the whatever the other dice is, something like that, right? There's 2 dice, the blue one and then the golden looking one. These 2 items are invaluable to a player. My issues with them is that you only get 1 per battle pass. One of them you have to pay for, right? The only other way to get them is to buy them. And buying them is expensive. I mean, like, real world dollars, it's expensive, right? For you to get 2, it's like 40 or 50 bucks, something like that. But here's the kicker behind that. In order for you to use whichever one, I'm pretty sure it's the variable dice, right? It costs 1 variable dice to guarantee 1 stat, but it costs 4 variable dice to guarantee 2 stats when you need a total of 4 substats. That is over 200% worth of a multiplier in order to do that. That's so greedy of them. That's so stupid. I hated it. I hated it then. I hate it now. I will continue to hate it until they decide to change it or get rid of it altogether. Why wouldn't you just make it so that 2 give you 2 substats? And if you want it to use 4, then that guarantees whatever substats you're looking for at the cost of 4. Or even better, make 4 substats the expensive variable dice. So instead of using 4 substats for guarantee, or 4 dice for 4 substats, you make it 6 dice to guarantee all 4 substats. Then at that point, you can't complain. You're completely eliminating the RNG at the cost of something that is super expensive, a premium item, right? That's totally fine. But the variations that we have right now are not okay. The golden ball falls under this same category. An amazing item, an amazing tool, but the way it's going to be implemented and who it is supposed to be used for, or who it's supposed to be targeted towards as a player, will not be able to take full advantage of this, given their limited funds or limited access to getting this item. From what we can see, there's no way they're going to be doing this. Well, like, hey, if you clear this, you get this golden ball or whatever the case may be, whatever, right? And speaking of, this would be great. This would be a great time for them to introduce something like MLC 13 through 15, because now it's like, hey, if you clear MLC 15, or if we made it so that like, hey, if you clear within like 2 cycles or 0 cycle, you get a golden ball. I don't know. Any of those things would be great. And I mean that. I genuinely do mean that. I just, holy fuck, bro. The last thing that's on this list is, what do I have here? Oh, right. Old character buffs, and then we can wrap this up, which I don't think they actually showed off on. Yeah, they didn't show off on the page, so I'm just gonna talk to you guys. Old character buffs are fine. They really should have just told us this. I'm tired of waiting. Now, I'm just gonna be honest. I'm gonna go find the leak. I'm just gonna go find out what these character buffs are supposed to be, so that I know whether or not I'm wasting or investing my time into that. I do know Silver's pretty strong. Silver is going to put her back up in like a top 3, top 5 support category if they keep it the way it is. I don't recall seeing Kafka, Blade, or Jing Liu. Those 3 are actually new to me. So it'd be nice to see what they got going on, what they're going to do with that, right? The Stellaron Hunters. That's pretty much it. It's one of those things where like, yeah, this is great. And mind you, I think the overall implication of them adding older character buffs is good. It's a good thing for them overall, but it's not good yet because we don't have it. And you're still going through 2 patches before you even get information about what they're going to do. For all you know, this is going to be something they release at 3.8, which is a whole year from now. Like that's going to suck donkey dick. I don't know, man. At the beginning of this video, I did mention my tweet and how I thought it was a damn good patch, or relatively good patch, right? And then after watching the entire live stream, I saw both sides. I could see why players are getting angry, and then I could see why people are quitting or continue to play the game. I think this patch is overall good. I think what they're doing is solid. It seems like they're trying to go in a direction of fixing the game that they already messed up. Again, my issues with the game are completely different, and how I think they should fix the game is not anywhere near this, but I can see how it could help a player. I see how giving you a free option between Ron, Mei, Luocha, or whatever the character you decide to do is going to be, oh, that's what I didn't talk about. The key thing that's super important, the light cone. There's something that they're giving crystal memory shards, whatever it is, the light cone. It is a free signature light cone. If you buy the battle pass, which is just $10 a month, you can get a free signature light cone within 2 battle passes. If you don't buy the battle pass, you get it within 4. I do believe on launch of this update, they're giving out the free like 4, so you can just pick whatever you want. I believe that. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not super confident, but that's just what I was told. Point being is that is huge. So adding into what I was just saying, I think they're trying to essentially give the players more opportunity to play the game that they're trying to design. It's at a point now where, just like with Genshin, when we realize, and they took a long time to say this, guys, for those that weren't aware, you didn't play Genshin year 1, maybe jumped in on like year 2.5, year 3 during Natlan, whatever. You actually weren't around for what happened. Genshin, we were essentially, I don't want to say promised, but we were led to believe that there was going to be some form of in-game raids, co-ops, dungeons, multiplayer, whatever. We were led to believe that with Genshin, which encouraged people to, like, at the time, right, you should pull C2 Child, because C2 Child or whatever it was is going to fix Child. It's going to make him stronger, better, makes him operate better. You should pull that. You should get Venti, C3 Venti or C1 Venti, whatever, because da-da-da-da-da. You should pull Zhang Li because whatever. You should build these characters to be the utmost strongest. We were led to believe that, only for them to come out and say, we don't want to do that because we feel our players have too much anxiety, some bullshit like that. Star Rail has always been this game where they've been promoting or pushing the agenda of building out these teams. It's a team archetype or meta-driven game, and then you need to have certain equipment in order to do that, because there's nothing else you can do. You can't control whether or not you hit or dodge or whatever, right? It's not an action-based RPG. You don't have an open world. You don't have a block button, so you can't choose to defend either. You just got to take the hit. There's a lot of basic shit that doesn't exist in the game. But moving beyond that point, it is what it is, right? That's just kind of how that goes overall with everything in this update. They're trying. I don't know if it's genuine. I don't know if it's disingenuous. I really don't care. The point is, they're trying. For the players that are going to continue to play Honkai Star Rail, it is in your best interest to take advantage of all the free opportunities or free things they're giving to you in order to proceed forward, right? To better your account as much as possible. It looks like, based off this update, based off this patch summary, that they are trying to make it so that even though they don't give you a lot of 4 stars or new 4-star options, they're making it so it's easier for a player to get 5 stars, limited 5 stars. Standard banner 5 stars are coming, or limited banner 5 stars are going into the standard banner now. So you can choose to do that, and then they'll rotate out so you can use your golden ball. Hopefully they give more golden balls in the future. Again, I don't see why they would implement something like this and then not have a plan for it. That's just really stupid of them, but it is what it is. I'm not a developer within Hoyoverse, so I can't actually give you guys that answer. For my players who do not intend to play the game, shut up. It's that simple. And I don't say that out of hate. I don't say that out of spite. I don't say that because you don't love the game and I don't love the game, or you love the game and I love the game and maybe you love it more. I don't know. I say that because everything you do, what's that saying? All publicity is good. Fuck, I can't say that word. All publicity is good publicity. I'll give you guys an example. Genshin Impact. Right now we have the VAs going through their thing with the SAG. I don't know the other half of it, but the strike, right? With the AI voices and not wanting to have their voices used in AI. Pretty good cause. They're actually, the English voice actors are losing their minds right now, attacking the new Knight voice actor, but whatever. Prior to that, we had the whole Natlin incident with the black characters, or like Natlin's based off of, an African-based region or something close to that, and hey, there's no dark skin, and they lost their minds. The reason I bring that up is because during that time, Genshin was at a new, when I say new, like after COVID, right? Post-COVID, Genshin was at a new all-time high in terms of like search results. Everyone was looking at Genshin. It got to a point where these people are talking about Genshin and why it's bad, that you had players out of spite downloading the game, spending on the game. I specifically remember there would be players, I'm not pulling Mualani because Mualani isn't dark enough. And you would have a whale say, okay, well, I'll pull for you. I'm going to C6 Mualani because this one person is not going to pull. Their $300 is going to get eclipsed by my $3,000, and I'm going to E6 or R5 the weapon out of spite. This is the type of community that you deal with. When you continue to give the company or the game, whatever it is, attention, and we're sitting here like, man, fuck Hoyo. Why? Because they didn't change this thing. I'm so done with that game. That game's trash. Da 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 da. And we make 20-minute, 30-minute, 40-minute, 50-minute videos about why Hoyo bad. We are still giving them publicity. If you pay attention to the comments, most of these comment sections are not one-sided. It's not all the way, yeah, fuck Hoyo. There's a mixture of people who are trying to defend whatever that game is, and then the people who are like, yeah, fuck Hoyo. At the end of the day, it is a smart decision from a moral standpoint to just not give a fuck about the game anymore, right? From a business standpoint, as a creator, and I need to make that very clear, I get it. I totally get it, right? We can't deny Hoyo brings in views. It's just plain as day, dude. I was listening to Cabs and Connor and Amethyst and Itoma and a bunch of not a bunch of other people, but I know I'm forgetting one. Bro, I apologize whoever I'm forgetting. My brain is cooked right now, okay? I was listening to them talk about the state of content creation when it comes to, gacha games. I don't fully agree with what they said, but they did say some things that kind of stood out to me. I was like, you know what, that's valid. One of the things that they mentioned was how other games are not performing as well as Hoyo, which does incentivize someone to continue talking about Hoyo, whether that be positive or negative. One of the games that everybody is talking about right now that I'm just now learning about is the Wizardry of whatever, something about Daphne. You guys know it. I just learned about it yesterday, but that game is not performing well on anybody's channel. Apparently it's the lowest performing game. It's not doing too hot. Why? It's not Hoyo. And that doesn't mean like it's not Hoyo, so it's not going to do good, right? Wuthering Waves is right there. But what I'm saying is it's not a big contender. So when you're not considering yourself a Wuthering creator or whatever, talking about Wuthering, and then you're not talking about Hoyo, you put yourself automatically in a position to where you're super niche, very niche down. And unfortunately, again, speaking to my creators, all of us are not in the same position that some of our creative peers are. We can't transition, or at least we don't have the means to easily transition. Some of us are using this as whatever means of a job that we have, right? To get the money, pay the bills, whatever. And just letting go of something that does pay your bills isn't that easy. So I'm not going to be one of the creators who bash anyone else for continuing to make content on the game. Because me personally, I don't give a fuck what you do, but I'm not going to sit here and bash somebody for doing that. I'm not going to crucify somebody for doing that. I don't think you guys as viewers should be crucifying people for continuing to play the game, especially if they actually like the game. If they like the game, let them like the game. If you don't like it, then fucking unsub. Tough titties, move on, right? Like you don't have to be so parasocial about this, because at the end of the day, Hoyo is not putting money in any of your pockets except the people that they directly pay, i.e. sponsors, or in this case, creators, things like that too, right? But outside of that, it is what it is, bro. Go touch grass. It's fine. It's okay. Or better yet, and this is what I always encourage, support the people you want to support, like heavy support them. If you no longer, because I saw a tweet from the Draken dude towards Poke. I think it was so unnecessary, but it is what it is. He's within his right to do so. TLDR, he made a tweet saying that if Poke continued or pulled casters and continued to play Star Rail, that he would no longer support him. He would unsub and remove his monetized memberships and all that kind of stuff. You are well within your right to do so. Absolutely. I promise you, it's just not worth you mentioning, like for a public stance. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to be on a podium about it. It is what it is, dude. And you take that sub, you take that money, and you go support somebody that is up your alley. They're doing everything you want them to do. I promise you, they will appreciate that, and it helps them. And you keep it pushing. There's no reason to dog down on somebody because they're doing something that you don't want to do, or you don't believe in, whatever the case may be, right? Everyone has different morals. Everyone stands on different shit. I think we see that all the time, right? Politics is right there. We can easily look at that. That doesn't mean that you have to fucking crucify whatever it is. Now, final question, which probably will get answered in the casters video. I don't know how I talked for an hour, but I did. I really wanted to rant. You guys could tell that. I don't know if I'm going to continue to play Star Rail. I don't think it's a bad update or patch. Again, the passive I could give 4 fucks less about. It's the game. Even with this passive in mind, if I can see that the game is improving, I'll continue to play it. If I enjoy the new mechanics, the new characters, if I think they add into the turn-based system that is currently present in Star Rail, and I enjoy it, I like it, I'll probably continue to play it. I'll state this now. I have not spent on Star Rail since I've stopped essentially playing the game. So whatever's in my account is not from me. It is from a sponsor. And I literally just have them dump it into the account, bro. It's just that simple. I have not spent money on this game for months. I want to say 3 or 4 months. I've not spent money on this game. So I don't know, dude. It's tough. It's a really tough thing to like figure out, right? And I understand that even some of my peers, the creators, I get it. It's a tough decision to make. Not even because like you want to support them or some crazy shit like that. It's hard to not play something that you actually enjoy or you want to see get better, and then you know that it's not gonna do anything different. Like, right? Like it's like everybody could quit right now, right? All the creators could quit Star Rail right now. It wouldn't make a difference. Star Rail would continue down its path. I promise you. If every single creator that made content for Star Rail quit Star Rail, it would continue down its path. At most, and we've seen this happen, they'll just get petty because it's Hoyo. They will become petty. They'll do something super petty. And then now no creator has access to anything for Star Rail anymore, right? Like it's whatever, dude. But I don't know, man. Let me in the video. If you want to see the casters video, if you made it this far to the end, today is a double upload because I'm not editing. The most I'm editing is like the empty cuts, and I'm literally gonna put it in a program and just it's out of there. Anyhow, the casters video will be maybe 3 hours after this. I gotta talk and edit. That's really all it is, and then they'll be good to go. I can't say fuck. I can't say my usual outro because it's inappropriate for YouTube. Like the video, dislike the video, comment, subscribe, unsubscribe, whatever. When the fuck did that get there? Do whatever it is you want to do. Be cordial about it because we get enough hate.